Did you know that your vagus nerve is the direct pathway to a calm nervous system? Yes, that's what we're talking about today in Wellness by Design. I'm your host, Jane Hogan, the Wellness Engineer. And I'm talking all things vagus nerve today and how you can shift that vagus nerve and activate it so that you are switching out of the stress response and into the relaxation response of the nervous system. And that is where all the magic happens, my friend. I'm going to talk about what the vagus nerve is and then 4 different doorways you can use to get to the vagus nerve and start to activate it. So some really practical things for you to do today. If you're listening to this, you might want to go to my YouTube channel to watch it because I'm going to be demonstrating some of these practices. And they're really, really practical. Okay, so I'd love for you to leave a comment and let me know what you think of these practices. Did you get a result? Do you want to see more content like this? Because I want to just help you. I want to provide the content that you want to see. All right, I'm going to hop inside. Make sure you stay till the end because I got a special tip for you, and I'll see you there. Okay, my humming videos have gotten a lot of attention, which I think is wonderful because humming is such a powerful practice to, well, shift that nervous system into the relaxation response and really start to make changes, even with things like nitric oxide. So if you haven't seen any of my humming videos, go check those out. We'll put some links there so you can see them. But humming, I mean, it is wonderful, but there's so many other things that you can do as well. And so that's what I want to talk about today. So what we're doing is activating the vagus nerve. So I'm going to tell you about what the vagus nerve is first. And then I think about with the vagus nerve that we can have like a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach. So I'm going to be teaching you some of those approaches because if you've been with me for a while, you know that I teach all the time teaching calm of the nervous system because that is how the body heals. Whether you've got pain or another chronic condition, digestive issues, skin issues, all of the healing happens in the relaxation response of the nervous system. So we have to get there. And what we know is that stress can cause, even if we don't know we're in stress, if that nervous system is more often into that stress response, then it's going to have a downstream effect physically on our body. So we could get pain, we could get a chronic health condition, we could get digestive issues, immune problems, skin problems, tinnitus, I mean, all kinds of things. So what we want to do is calm that. And what we know from studies is that for chronic pain and other conditions, that the vagus nerve actually loses tone with people with these conditions. Okay, so what do we mean by that? Let's talk about what the vagus nerve is first. So the word vagus is Latin for wandering. So the vagus nerve is, I think, from what I understand, it's the largest nerve in the body. And it goes from our torso and all connects to all of our organs and goes all the way up through our neck, ears, touches the eyes, and into our brain. And it is what sends the signals up from what's going on down here up to our brain. And it is the activation, it triggers the activation of the relaxation response of the nervous system. So if you've been if you've got a chronic health condition, if you've got chronic pain, if you've got, you know, a lot of different things going on, what we know is that because it's related to our nervous system, that we're getting the stress response all the time. And so the relaxation response via the vagus nerve is just not happening. That's why it loses tone. They call it tone. Almost think about it like a muscle, that it loses tone like a muscle would lose tone if it's not being used. So what we want to do is give it tone again. We want to give it tone again. And so I'm going to talk about 4 different pathways on how to do that. So a lot of you may have watched some of my humming videos, and that's a really powerful way to do that. So I'm going to briefly mention humming, but so many things you can do as well. So the doorways that I'm going to be talking about, I'm looking at my notes here because I've got a lot of points I want to cover here. So we're going to look at using the breath and voice, of which humming is one of those. And then we're going to look at the eyes. I mentioned that the vagus nerve is attached to the eyes, so the eyes is another way. And I'm going to give you different methods of doing that. Then the body. And then the other one, let me see, did I miss one? Doorway, the body was 4, the eyes was 3. I did miss one. The breath and voice. Oh, I skipped over one. No, okay. All right, that's it. Oh, no. And the next one is the head and the ears and the tongue. So I'm kind of separating out the eyes from the head and the ears and the tongue. That's the 4th doorway. Okay. So what I really like to do with a lot of these is to get an idea if the vagus nerve, when the vagus nerve isn't activated and when we are more in the stress response, the body stiffens up. And one way you may notice it is with your neck movement. So I like to always start these by getting kind of a baseline. And the way I do that, well, one way to do that is to just kind of sit up straight with your shoulders relaxed. You could have your hands in your lap, and you would gently turn your head to the right, kind of as far as you can go. Obviously not pain, but to the end of your mobility. And then notice what your chin lines up with. So what we're trying to do is get like an idea of what our chin is lining up with, so that we know the range of movement we have on the right side. And then come back to center, and then turn to the left as far as you can, and then notice what your chin is lining up with again. My neck is a little stiff today, so I'm looking forward to doing these exercises so that I can get more range of motion. Okay, so that's going to give us an idea. We're doing this before, and then we'll do it again afterwards, and then we'll see, have we got more range of motion? And that is a sign that our body is kind of letting go of the need to sort of protect and hold things stiff and tight. Another thing you may notice as you do these exercises is you may notice like a sigh, like a spontaneous kind of sigh, or you may even notice that you're yawning. Those are all good. Those are signs that your nervous system is shifting into the relaxation response, right? The rest, digest, repair response. So you may also notice that. You may notice a sigh, or you may notice a yawn. Those are all good. Okay, so let's start to move into the first doorway, which was the breath and the voice. So I've got a number of these. I may cover some others on some other podcast episodes. Let me know if you'd like to have more. So the first one, of course, is humming. And it's one of my favorites because it's so simple. And so all you do, you have to have your mouth closed to hum. All you do is inhale through the nose and then exhale with your mouth closed through the nose. So inhale. Now you notice I made one sound as I was doing that exhale, making that one humming sound. People have asked me, do you have to make just one? Can you go up and down? Of course, you can do any of those things. I think it's more effective, and from what I understand, because there's been a lot of studies on this, is that one long tone and a fairly like high tone kind of associated with the top of the head. It's if the musical note is actually B. So that one is the most effective in terms of generating nitric oxide and that has the most benefits. But of course, if you are just humming and you just want to hum a song, you can do that too. So why does this work? It's because when we're humming, we're creating that vibration in our throat, and that vagus nerve innervates, it touches the back of our throat. So if we're humming, putting the breath through there, creating a vibration, then that is certainly going to help. Okay, so humming is a great one. Now, another one that I really love is what's called VU breathing. And that is, it does a similar thing. It's creating a vibration in the back of the throat. So the way you do VU breathing is to inhale. And then when you exhale, you make a VU sound. Your lips are really vibrating with this one. So inhale, exhale. VU. I can feel a really great vibration there in my throat and neck. So how about you? Try it. I'm going to do it one more time. You can try it with me. So inhale. Kind of tickles the lips, right? And you can feel that. So that's a way to use the breath to do that. A couple of ways. I mean, there's others you can do as well, but those ones are two really powerful ones. Humming, people don't know what you're doing. VU breathing, people might like, what the heck? So you might want to do that, maybe in private. So that's two that I really like. Now, another one. Now, I mentioned this isn't so much, well, it is kind of done with the breath, but I mentioned that the vagus nerve innervates at the back of the throat and around the back of the tongue as well. So another thing you can do, this one looks a little weird, but you can inhale, and then on the exhale, you stick out your tongue as far as you can go with that ah sound, okay? So I'll demonstrate, and then we'll do it together. So we're going to just do a normal inhale. Always better to inhale through the nose if you can. So inhale, exhale. I'm a little embarrassed because I have an extra long tongue. So inhale. Attractive, isn't it? Maybe not so attractive, but it is really good for your vagus nerve. Okay, so that's a couple of, well, 3 different ones now you've got that are using the breath and really like around creating vibration around your throat and movement around the throat. Okay, going to move on to the second doorway now. So the second doorway is the eyes. Yes, the eyes. So again, the eyes are directly connected to the vagus nerve. It's kind of a funny thing with the eyes. We think of the eyes as being external, but they're actually an extension of our brain. They're the only part of our brain that is kind of outside the bony cranium structure. So the eyes are actually attached to the vagus nerve. So, I mean, I'm going to talk about eye movement here. So here's some things that can really help. And I did an eye movement therapy with a lady for a little while, and it was interesting, really interesting with the eyes. And you may have heard of EMDR. It's a therapy. It's eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, I think it's called. And it's kind of combining thoughts with eye movement. And that's what I did with this lady as well. It was called In a Blink, I think. And so we were making statements. She was either making statements or I was making statements at the same time, removing the eyes. And it's kind of, I guess, as a way of unscrambling some of those subconscious programming. But for now, what we're talking about is just activating the vagus nerve through eye movement. So here's one thing you can do. Just simply kind of keep your eyes at one level, looking straight ahead, and you're going to move your eyes as far to the right as you can and then as far to the left. So you're keeping your head still. We're not moving the head at all. We're just moving the eyes right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And just continue until till you need to blink or your eyes just get too tired and you can't do it anymore. Okay, I'm gonna blink. Okay, ooh. So side to side eye movement. Give that a try yourself. So we're gonna do that again. One more time. Keep the head still. The head doesn't move at all. And we're just gonna look right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Keep going until you need to blink or your eyes get fatigued. Okay, for me, that was enough. Okay, just blinking. Okay, now that's one. Another practice is, and it's not going to look any different when I do this, but you're going to focus near and then focus far. So what I'm doing right now, I'm looking at the camera, but I'm going to focus like on my computer screen, which is about 12 to 18 inches away from my face. And then I'm going to focus on the wall that's on the other side of the room. So several feet away or a couple of meters away. So first of all, I'm going to focus on my computer screen. And then I'm going to focus on the wall ahead. So I'm not really like moving my head around. I'm just focusing near. I've switched to near again and far. Near and far. So you can try it now. So pick something, and you could even hold your hand up if you wanted to. So hold your hand, look at your fingertips, wherever you can actually focus. If I come really close, I actually can't focus on that really well. So put your hand where you can, focus on the details of it, and then pick a point across the room. So near, far, near, far, near, and far. So just do that a few times. It's really not going to hurt. Maybe your eyes will get fatigued. And then when they do, you can just stop and maybe blink. You could even palm your eyes. This type of exercise, my friend Claudia Muhlenweg and also Bryce Applebaum talk about this, how this can actually help improve your vision as well. So another side benefit of that. Okay, so that's a couple of exercises. Now there's one I really love that would actually take a little bit longer. So maybe I'm going to do a whole separate video on that one. Let me know if you'd like to learn about doing yoga for the eyes. Okay, yoga for the eyes. Let me know if you'd like me to do that. It takes a little bit more to do that one. So I'm not going to do it today, but it's a really interesting kind of practice. Okay, so there we go. That's 2 for you. There's other ones as well, but I'll just focus on those 2 for now. Okay, so let's move on to doorway number 3, which is the body. So as I mentioned, sometimes I talk about like top-down approaches and bottom-up approaches. So some are like you're really in your head, and then some of them, they're very body-focused, somatic type practices. So there's quite a few of these, and I probably could do a whole podcast episode on somatic practices. So let me know if you would like to do that. But for now, I'm just going to focus on a couple of these. So one of them is grounding pressure. So grounding pressure, what I'm talking about here is really tuning in to a surface, either that your feet are on or your hands are on, or both, and pressing in. So let's do hands and feet at the same time. So if you're sitting down now, hopefully you're sitting down, you can put your feet flat on the floor beneath you, and then place your hands face down on a surface. So I'm placing these face down. You could also press them face up underneath, but for now we'll go face down. So I'm pressing my hands down on the desk that's in front of me, and I'm pressing my feet into the floor. Pressing, pressing, pressing. And so you just kind of press as hard as you can. I'm actually thinking now that if I'm doing two of these at the same time, it might be easier to press up on the underside of my desk with my hands and then press into the floor with my feet. So I'm pressing, pretty firm pressure. So give that a try until you feel fatigued again, and then just relax. Here we go. A sigh. Did you sigh as well, or maybe you yawned? I feel like yawning now too. So that's that. It's sort of like, it's very grounding, and so that might help. There's some other really wonderful positions that are harder for me to do like this. I would need a different camera setup. Let me know if you'd like to see some of those as well. So another one is like rhythmic movement, and so I'm going to stand up for this, so hopefully you'll be able to see me. So one is just like body swings, and so for this one, you can just like swing your body and let your arms swing side to side, and you can even like let your hands go up in the air and kind of hit your body as you swing around. And you can also bend over and swing side to side. And this is one we used to do in yoga, or I still do in yoga, called rejuvenation. And it feels very like fun and childlike. Okay, so that is body swings. Now another one, we know this from animals that do this. When an animal like an antelope is chased by a lion, and then it gets free and the lion goes off, they'll shake. So just shake. So I'm just shaking up and down, letting my hands flop around. This is also a move that I do in Qigong. We just shake, 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 and swing. And then sometimes, you probably can't see me, but I'm putting my hands over my head and just letting my hands flop as I shake. Okay. Whew. Okay, now I'm just going to come and sit down again. How was that? You may want to pause this and go back, and feel free to do any of those as long as you want to do them. It just feels really good. If you're ever tense, just shaking like that is so helpful. And actually, I find it energizing afterwards. Okay, so another one I want to talk about is like drumming the body. So again, I think we use these a lot in Qigong, but just drumming. So you might want to just I'm just drumming my chest here, which feels really good. There's a whole lot of acupuncture points around there. I don't know them, but I know that they're there. And you can kind of drum and tap anywhere in your body. I'm going down my arm here, inside and outside. Other arm inside and outside. Even tap your head. So just as like drumming and tapping can feel really good as well. There's no wrong way to do it, quite honestly. It's just do it. Okay, so that is some of the body focused ones. So anytime we get like rhythm as well can be really helpful to send like a message of calm, and it starts activating that vagus nerve. Okay, so let me talk about the head, the ears, and the tongue. So the vagus nerve goes through up through like the back of the neck there, and so and it connects to the ears. So one thing I really love is doing a 2-finger massage of the occipital joint. So the occipital joint is where the cranium meets the top of the spine. And so if you just kind of feel around there, you should be able to feel where they meet. There's even like a little indentation there. So I'm going to take my 2 fingers, my middle finger, the first finger, index finger, and the middle finger, and I'm just going to go to that point and just kind of massage a little bit. So you can massage like in circles. You can kind of pull out and back. You can see what I'm doing there. So I'm just massaging in there. You can push up. You can pull it apart a little bit. But just do some gentle massage there, or, as tight as you want to do it. But just loosen it all up there a little bit. And then another one that's really helpful for calming the vagus nerve is to give the ears a massage. So let's do an ear massage together now. And again, you can't really do anything wrong here, but what we want to do is just use our fingers to really massage the ears, all that fleshy outdoor part, and then the lobes and all around. I'm making like little circles all around. You can even kind of pull on your ears, pull them up, back, pull them down. And you may notice, I'm noticing this right now, they're getting quite warmed up. Okay. Feels really good. Okay. And then just take a little break. So one more to show you. That may sound very strange, but it comes back to the fact that the tongue is touching and innervates on the vagus nerve. So for this one, I'm going to move my tongue around. So similar to earlier when we breathe and we exhale with a we're getting tongue movement in. So we're going to move the tongue over the top teeth and then over the bottom teeth. We're going to go around and around in one direction and a couple of times, and then around in the other direction a couple of times. So here we go. I'm moving my tongue over my teeth. And then I'm going to change direction. Okay. It sounds funny, but it's very powerful. Maybe you've noticed some yawning. Maybe you've noticed some sighing. Maybe you notice you just feel like, a little calmer. But the other thing we're going to do is do that chin test again, the head movement, and see where we are now. So sitting straight, sitting up, the shoulders down and relaxed, head looking straight ahead. I'm just kind of tuck my chin a little bit. Inhale, and then I'm going to exhale, turn my head, and notice what my chin is lining up with this time. And I've definitely gotten more movement than I had before. So before I was kind of lining up there. Now I'm lining up a little bit further. So I've got a little bit more mobility in my neck on the right-hand side. Maybe you've noticed that too. And now I'm going to test the left-hand side. So I'm going to turn my head again and see, oh my goodness, I have so much more mobility on this side. I think before I was like lined up like that. So really good. I found it really good. Now here's a little experiment you can do. You could pick one of those to do at a time, maybe, on different days, and do that little before and after test. And notice if you are getting a little bit more movement. Now you might find some one or two or three exercises really have a bigger impact on you. For me, weirdly, that tongue one, rubbing the tongue over my teeth, is a really big one for me. Now, might be different for you. Find out what one really works for you. Okay, so those are some little practices. I gave you a lot, but you don't have to do all of them. I'm just giving you a sample to try. And perhaps some of them you're like, I can do that one. Some of them maybe you can even do while you're doing something else. So maybe you can hum while you're walking. Maybe you can do the tongue over your teeth while you're walking, if you're by yourself. So combine some of these with something else that you're already doing. I love that habit stacking thing. It's always just a great way to do more than one thing at a time. So these are really, really powerful. Don't underestimate them because they're simple. They are simple, but they are powerful. Now, the real power, though, is when you continue to practice them. Okay, make it part of your daily routine. So what would you need to do to make one of these part of your daily routine? You probably need to set up a reminder of some sort because they're really simple. Maybe you put a post-it note up that reminds you to hum or whatever it is you're going to do. Or maybe you put a reminder, set up a reminder on your phone. Or maybe you say, every time I get in the car, I will, pick one of them. Maybe you got to put a little reminder for yourself for that. So they're simple. You just need to do it. That's all. So the one thing you can do today is decide to pick one of those that you're going to do. Try it. Try it several times today. And then maybe you pick another one another day and so on. But pick one that you're going to try and do it several times. And then you'll start to probably notice that you're feeling a little more relaxed. Maybe if you've got pain, you may notice the pain drops down a little bit. Doing that test before and after, you're going to notice that you'll have more movement in your neck, which is a sign that your body is softening, right? It's not putting you in protection mode as much, which is what it does when the nervous system is in that stress response. So there you go. I love talking about these simple things that you can do. If you haven't got my book already, you can go to painfreeonpurpose.com, or you can go to wherever you buy books and get the physical book. And now the audiobook is also available. So I hope you enjoy it because in that I talk about making lifestyle changes, simple lifestyle changes that can support you. All right. Thanks so much for being here today. If you are new, thank you. Welcome. And if you are a longtime listener, thank you for supporting this podcast by listening and tuning in and helping it become a top 3% in alternative health. It's just really wonderful. And I'm so, so grateful for that. Okay, I'll see you again soon. Oh, don't forget to leave a comment. Let me know, what was your favorite practice out of all of these? Let me know that. I'm curious. And did you notice more movement in your neck? Love to hear that. Let me know. And I'll see you again soon on Wellness by Design.